What kind of food did you get?
I got Luna Grill.
Okay, I don't
Yeah,
know
I'll
what
wait
that
for
means.
this. You don't know Luna Grill?
No.
Child. It's Mediterranean.
Oh. Okay.
Um, and it, oh my God. Hold on 1 second. I have a baby in my household.
A child?
A man child.
I thought we were talking about a real one.
It's okay. If you want some fries, you can.
Anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome to um Waking the Fuck Up, a woke podcast. I am your host Ryan. Um our other host Emily is
Oh, shut
around.
up. You can't wait to play your stupid video game. Okay, don't bug me. My freaking life.
Well, I did the intro.
Okay. What?
So,
Well, are you gonna edit me out yelling?
no. No.
You're not.
No. That's staying in.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, anyways, like I said, I am your host, Ryan. I'm joined by Emily, finally.
I'm here.
Emily,
Present.
you guess how long I have been sitting in this Zoom call for?
Why have you been waiting in a Zoom call? I could have.
You told me to send you the link. I sent you the link.
I know, but I was working on getting to it. But
Okay,
I appreciate the patience and also the meme that you sent me, or the GIF I was laughing at.
it's a good one. But go ahead, guess. Take it.
Oh, okay. Let me think. Wait, has it really been an hour?
It's been 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh. See, girl, that's why.
I have patience. God,
Oh, that's good.
God gifted me that.
That's good. I just let you practice it.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow in Christ and the gifts He has given me.
You're so welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah. Well, how have you been doing?
Um, that's a very complicated question. I was just someone asked me that today. I literally feel at every moment I'm like every emotion at every
Mm-hmm.
moment. So I could cry, I could laugh, I could be angry, like just all of it all the time.
All of
So
it. Wow,
it's very complicated for me to answer that question.
that's fair. Well, we haven't recorded in a hot minute here. I personally was with my move and everything mentally a bit unstable.
Why?
uh, my depression got pretty, not pretty bad, but like worse than it's been in a hot minute. So I couldn't record. Emily's been a little bit sick,
Yes.
and I don't
Hashimoto's.
know, Hashimoto's, man, the root of all evil in the world.
Sure.
But yeah, so here we're here. We did have a topic picked out, but you know what? We've been going through it, so we're gonna talk about easy shit today. Uh,
Our favorite.
something we don't have to prepare for, honestly,
Yes.
because Emily was refusing to prepare for it.
Well, it's like I gotta get my mojo behind me, and if I don't, then nothing's gonna be right. So I always wait for my mojo, and then sometimes it doesn't come.
That's true. Oh, what is like? Okay, I have a question about a question.
Okay.
When you meet someone, what is like a quote unquote like random question you would ask them to like gauge them as a person?
Um, to gauge them as a person, like, um, I don't. That's a good question. Do you have an answer while I think about it? Because I'm gonna have to think for a second.
Well, I mean, there's like people do like the philosophical ones of like, there's five people on a train track and the train's gonna hit them, or there's one person on the other train track and you can pull the lever. Who do you kill? those kind of questions. It depends on the type of person. If it's a man, I generally ask them like, "What's your zodiac sign?" Because if they're willing to answer that, then that tells me a lot
Okay.
about that person.
See, I'm like, I want to get down in the nitty gritty, but I have a hard time knowing what is appropriate and what's not.
Hmm. So you just like balls deep or not at all?
Well, I mean, I feel like if I don't end up like if I first meet someone because it's like I don't know. People tell me I'm intimidating. I don't really feel that way, but like I understand because a lot of people don't haven't gone to the depths of their being.
Of their soul.
And so they get like, wait, like that's a lot to I don't even know the answer to that, or like I haven't thought that far in my life or whatever. So I like the deep questions, but I end up just you just kind of have to stick with the basics if it's an average human being, I feel like.
Uh, if it's someone like I'm just strictly there to like get the information on, then I will go straight for the point. Like, my sister has a friend. He's military, and I could tell by the this man. I could just tell. Like, he was a nice guy, but the way he talked about like women and stuff, I was like, okay, we
Go
got
ahead.
some internal in what's going on here. Like, I can tell deep down you don't mean the bullshit you're saying right now, but you're still saying it. So, what's the dealio? Who hurt you and why? And that's what I asked him. I was like, who hurt you? Who is she? What's her name? Tell me the story. It took a little bit of convincing, maybe like 10 minutes. And yeah, and he told me.
I feel like people that come off, I feel like you have to read people's energy and like people that come off all forward, I have no problem giving it right back to them and like asking them forward questions
Mhm.
because I always feel like you gotta knock people down a few notches. Men, like I don't feel like that with women. If it's a woman like that, I tend to just like leave her be because I don't have any I don't I
Takes
don't
more
deal.
energy.
I don't deal. Yeah. But like men, I feel like with that kind of stuff, it's like, you know what? You're not as cool and as big hot shot as you think you are. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you know.
Yeah. Exactly. So but mine is what's your zodiac sign? Because if a guy goes, oh, I'm a Gemini, or if they go, oh, I don't know, like how do we find out? Like they're a willing participant in the conversation, then they're cool, and I will continue on. But if they're like, oh, you believe in that bullshit?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, motherfucker, I do, and I can tell you that my sign is not compatible with yours just by you saying that, even if you're 100% compatible.
And I was just thinking about this too. Like I tend to have subjects in my head that I research like and I obsess over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always like to interview people and like know what other people feel about my subjects that I am always have like collecting information on. So there's that. Like probably at this point, I would ask them how they're raised, like what their religious background is, like that kind of
Mm,
stuff. Because like that's my research topic in my head.
that's true. That's a good point. I feel like that can come off like when you're like, oh, what's your religious background? That could be like the girl in church that's trying to find her future husband kind of vibes. Like, oh,
I,
are you close with the Lord? Do you?
I know that's usually what they ask though. Like they want to ask like a religious background because they don't. They're like, it's not a religion. Like, okay, well, when you ascribe to the same things as everyone else around you, it becomes a religion. So there's that. Um, but
Christians don't think Christianity is a religion, or
they say it's not a religion, it's a relationship. Meaning,
well, let me tell you,
well,
I get it, but
so I
The
get what you're
definition
trying to
of a
say.
religion is what you're doing.
My issue is, and I don't think this is only with Christians, but there's such an undereducation of like what even like definitions of words are, and like let's
Mm-hmm.
define religion. Okay, you're how you're acting is a religion. Typically, I feel like the people that say it's not a religion, it's a relationship are the people that operate as a religion or slash cult like. So
Yeah, that's a good one. If you're like
they do
instantly
it.
defensive about it.
Yes, because I mean, it's like we already know, like we already talked about this the last week of like a relationship is simply between two people. Like we don't need all
Yeah.
this fluff and all this stuff. So if it's between you and God, then that's that. And you probably aren't sitting there trying to defend your relationship if you feel good about your relationship. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a pretty good one. That's a good one. Um, well, here's the news in my life. I have a dog now.
yay.
Yay! Emily was a big proponent in helping me be like, yep, that's a good one. I don't know where he is, to be honest, right now. He's not in here, which, good. Have some separation from me. That's fine. But anyways, he is a black shepherd mix. The shelter said he was 4 years old, but when I took him to a vet, they estimated him to be a little bit younger,
Oh,
so 3 maybe.
not
Which
bad.
I don't think he's 4 either. So I'll go with the vet what the vet says on that because he agrees with me.
Yeah, the shelters unfortunately don't know a ton for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he's a German Shepherd. Majority is he's got something in him, but
We gotta get a DNA test on this boy.
we will when I have money. I should get paid tomorrow. Not that I'm gonna buy the DNA test tomorrow, but I have been out of money for like weeks.
For weeks.
Not for like weeks, but like this week I finally was like, okay, I gotta cut myself off from like pulling money out of my savings because I can't just keep pulling money out of my savings. But I also haven't been working for like a month, so I haven't had a paycheck, so it's not like I'm spending all my money and then some. I like am like pulling money out of savings to like buy groceries because I haven't been working. But I am working now. We're gonna have a dog, and his name is Kaneki. Um,
Monkey.
Kaneki. Khan is for short. I don't. I'm seeing if they say his name. He'll come in here. Nope.
The con man.
The Con Man. If anyone knows what anime that's from, it's very popular. Feel free to drop it in the comments. But yeah, Kaneki. His shelter name was Prince, and I hated that. But he is very beautiful, so I get it. Uh, but yeah, that's my big news. And he is a black dog from a shelter, which Emily can explain why that's kind of significant.
Yes. So there's black dog syndrome. So BDS or big black dog syndrome, BBDS. And statistically, black dogs get adopted less than any other color. And then also typically have a longer stay at the shelter if they were to get adopted, and are the most highest rate of euthanasia.
Mm-hmm.
So just simply because of their coloring. And there's been studies on it as to why that is, and it's really like inconclusive, but the assumption is just associations with dark colors of being scarier or not as nice as like a light colored dog. And then secondarily possibly that they don't photograph well, so you don't see like their defined features when you have a photo of a black dog sitting in a shelter. And so yeah, I mean, who knows exactly, but it is a thing. So I always encourage people, so especially and big dogs get adopted less statistically than little dogs just across the board.
Mhm.
So big black dogs are one of the hardest dogs to get adopted, especially if they're a breed like a power breed or a pit bull or something that is already people associate with being more aggressive. And then you put a black dog, combine that with black dog, like they're going to probably sit there longer, which is just sad. Um, so I always encourage people to, if you're going to adopt a dog, consider getting a black dog specifically just to help them get out, because it has nothing to do with personality. It doesn't have anything to do with how happy you're going to be with your dog. It's just simply a coat color.
Mhm. Yeah, and I read because after you mentioned it, and I had already kind of known about it, but I had never really read anything. Some people theorize that black dogs, since they're black and the kennels are a little shadowy, like people don't see like their facial features or like their facial expression, and so they don't like connect with that level, like, oh, that dog's smiling at me or whatever. They don't see that in black dogs. Like, you don't see the eyebrows raising as easily, and as a white dog you can like see every emotion that dog has. So that's one theory of it, but you know, comes down to just we don't know why, just how it is. um but yeah, he had been in there for a month. I think like almost like maybe a little less than a month, and I was shocked. Like, I was so nervous. Like, the night before, like, I was gonna go down and like get him, or like see him at least. I didn't wasn't planning on getting him, but I think everyone kind of knew. I was like, nope, this dog's gonna be gone. Someone's gonna adopt him. He's like so beautiful. He is just like looks like a German Shepherd, but like with a slightly different head shape. Um, and so I was like, he's just a beautiful black German Shepherd. Someone's gonna adopt him. And then I got there and he was still there, and I was very surprised that literally no one like looked at him because I.
Um, I mean, it's typically not a like age either that people want. They're looking for
Yeah.
puppies or under a year and a half a lot of times. So all the way around, but they really are the best dogs, to get them older,
Oh yeah.
because you don't have to go through puppy stage. They're chill. They're,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're cool. I love older dogs.
Yeah, and he was dumped on the side of the road as far as we are aware, so we don't know anything about him. We have no idea if he's ever been in a house, but he is totally house trained, um, which I was super nervous about. I didn't want him to like ruin anything in my house. But no, yeah, he hasn't chewed anything or peed on anything or anything destructive. The worst is he's a dog, so he sheds, so that's the worst. But a vacuum. A
Yeah, you can't prevent that.
Yeah. And then yeah, like I don't know, whoever got rid of him or whatever was crazy because he's a pretty great dog so far. Very chill.
I'm happy. So in my family, they do not like dogs. So
The black sheep all
even,
around, Emily.
what was that?
You're the black sheep all around.
I am the black sheep, but it's like exciting for me that someone like in my semi immediate family is like getting a dog. Obviously,
Yeah.
like your parents have a dog and so, or have dogs, but it's a little different when it's like, oh, someone my age that like is getting a
Well,
dog, and it's,
we're closer
yes, yeah.
in relationship wise. Like, if Aunt Lori got a dog, I'd be like, okay, cool. Or and but then if you got another dog, I'd be like, girl, why send me pictures? What we doing here?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, my family is all my dad all loves animals. My mom likes them. I would say definitely more than your family.
I think your mom, it probably is helpful that your dad likes them and then your mom like secondarily, because
Yeah.
like my mom, I mean, we obviously grew up with a few dogs. Um, And my mom didn't like hate them, but she definitely didn't like love them per se. I mean, as puppies, like everyone
Yeah.
loves puppies, but like once they got older, she had her one dog, Jake, that she really liked, and he really loved her, and like he would follow her around, and she loved him. But she's just different. I mean, she could probably get rid of a dog and just not be a huge deal to her, where I would be
Mm-hmm.
torn apart. And but I think that like they're all like that because like growing up, they had um Granny, which were cousins, so our sister or our moms are sisters. Um, but they had like dogs and then get rid of dogs, get dogs, get rid of
Yeah.
dogs.
They
So
had at one point, like a Shetland,
yeah, Sheltie.
a Sheltie,
Yes.
and they got rid of it, and I hold resentment to my mom for that.
Oh, they got rid of every dog they had. They had that one and then they had
They never
a
got rid of
dachshund.
Boomy. Boomy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Boomer. They
And
didn't get rid of
then,
him.
and Katie, was
Yes,
that?
Katie.
Those are
Yes.
the only two dogs I remember that I was around for. So, but yeah, every animal, whether it was like a dog or a cat, they like were like, nope, we're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
It's
For
going to
like just like they're tired of it.
yeah.
Which is like kind of how my mom is. And then my dad is like thinks that they're the most annoying creatures in the world because they like inevitably will destroy something of his. Like
Yeah.
but we also were not very good dog owners. We didn't know how to train them. So we had little dachshunds and they were terrors. So there's that, but they just
Dachshunds
don't,
are.
they are terrorists, literally little tyrants. But but also like my parents would never be invested in training, never be invested in even vet care. They wouldn't be
Yeah.
like, oh, let's take it to the vet. They're like, let's see if it dies. Like and maybe if it's about to die, we'll take it to the vet. But
Yeah.
not really that extreme. We definitely took our dogs to the vet, but it was not, it was like a burden to like pay for vet bills or
Yeah.
whatever. Like it wasn't, they weren't priorities in our life, which dogs take so much work that they had to be a priority or
Mhm.
you will have resentment.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so it's funny to now have you have a dog because it's like, oh, like talking about training and like dog ownership and all that stuff.
Yeah. Which, yeah, and we've always had dogs, and I think it was definitely more of a priority in my family to like be like, this is your dog, take care of the dog, train the dog, take it to
Mm-hmm.
the vet. Like we definitely were big animal people.
Yeah.
My mom likes them like when they're trained.
Yeah.
And then she does enjoy like the puppies, but like as soon as like Jackson, which is her dog, which she is enamored with, but when he was a puppy, she like hated him just because he destroyed things.
Yep.
And I tell him every single day, I am the reason you're alive because I am the one who had to advocate for you and be like, Mom, it's just how it is. It's gonna stop. And then it's the day it stopped is the day she decided this is the best dog in the world.
Yep. She
For
doesn't do well with like the teenage stage. She likes the
yeah,
little puppies and then the grown dogs. But
yeah.
yeah, that's a brutal stage in between.
Yeah, which I get. Like, no one wants their house to be destroyed and, like, every dish towel to be destroyed, and, like, I
That's
get
why
it.
we crate dogs. Just so you
I
know.
preaching to the choir, alright?
I know. I was proud of you for having crate.
Oh, I, like, same day, like, got him, and then I was, like, driving home, and I was like, I need a crate. And I went
Nice.
on Facebook and found one, and
Oh, good.
fits him perfectly, luckily. Um, yeah. But he does not sleep in it. It's the only thing.
What do you mean, like at night, or he doesn't go to sleep in it?
He at night he doesn't sleep in it.
Hmm.
Well,
I might let you
I
slide on that one.
just because I have a neighbor, and I mean my neighbor's very cool, and so when I put him in it, and that first night he was like barking at like 3 a.m. So I just was like, okay, I can't like wake up my neighbor. at 3 a.m. to this dog, so I just let him out and he sleeps in my room. He's all right.
Some dogs can handle it and it's just fine, but
Yeah. I was very nervous. Obviously, like the first night, I was like, I don't know this dog. He doesn't know me. Weird place, but he did all right. He opens my blinds, which really pisses me off. I'm a
like I'll see.
yeah, he's just very nosy.
Oh, imagine that.
And I think whatever he's mixed with is a scent hound.
Those shepherds, though, they can definitely use their nose.
That's true. He does that little foot lift thing that like pointers do, though.
Noli does it,
Oh no,
I have to say.
fuck no.
Yeah, she's not anything bird dog or,
Yeah, I don't
but
know. We'll figure it out.
yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, they do it more often, but Noli definitely does it.
But like with the onslaught of like having a new dog and like everything, and then Instagram picks up on your search history, I've been getting very interesting ads, and I'm gonna send you this crate I got advertised to me. I want you to take a gander. There, it's just arrived.
All right, let's see here.
I want you to look at it and just guess how much it's worth, or how much it sells for. I guess not how much it's worth.
Is there a brand or
Um, it's not like a
not a
well known.
common brand? I'm going to guess $450.
450. Wow. Okay. It's 340.
Oh, that's expensive for that. So there's like impact crates or gosh, I have to think of the other brand. Basically crates that are like indestructible for dogs that are like high anxiety or are just little beasts. And those things can be like 600 and up. So
Yeah, I've seen those ones, but like this one, I don't know that I'd ever put a dog inside of it.
no, and I would never pay something for like that for a no-name brand that it like never heard of before.
Yeah, it doesn't look stable.
No, it doesn't. And it's also like, okay, what's the appeal?
Yeah, I don't get
Like,
it.
oh, it collapses. So does every crate in the world.
Yeah, so that's been one of my ads, and I wanted to send it to you to make you guess.
I've definitely never seen that type of crate before.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks cheap, but is expensive.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing, I do you have pet insurance?
I do not. I've had a lot of people tell me to get pet insurance. Um, I can't say that I actually have looked into it. I know people that I personally, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have one dog that is indestructible. I have the other dog who is like a little feather that will break at any given moment. Um, and even with her, like, so my dogs are 4 and 5 years old. I haven't spent enough on vet bills at this point to justify, but I do know people that have like French bulldogs or English
Mm-hmm.
bulldogs, like those types of dogs, I would be more inclined to because I've had people literally have 6 surgeries on their French bulldog and
Yeah.
they're able to get deductible and all of that. But I just think for my average dog, I feed them good food. So that's kind of where I invest my money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just I'm always checking everything about them. Like I'm like anal about their teeth, I'm anal about their ears, like they're I can't even say I'm anal about their nails, but I keep an eye on everything like that. I just am like I have a hard time trimming my own dog's nails because it scares me. But um I have cut their nail one time where it bled and it freaked me out. But anyways, yeah, I think like the cheapest you're gonna get is like 25, 35 a month. And I just
Mm-hmm.
think like collecting that all together, maybe if something crazy happened, I have had clients that had rattlesnake bites, which is like an easy $2,000 out the door.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Do you guys have rattlesnakes where you are? Is that like everywhere?
Fucking no. We have snakes. I don't know if we have rattlesnakes. We're not really, well, we kind of are high desert, but where I am is more mountains, so I don't know that we have rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I never really thought about other areas, but rattlesnakes are extremely huge here. And like multiple people I know have had their dogs bitten. But also with that, I take precautions. I mean, I've had Scout sniff two rattlesnakes, which of course it was
Wow.
her, but she's always so observant. But she's never gotten bit, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I just keep them on pat. Like I just try to be as safe as possible with my dogs, anyways. And I feel like I'm extremely aware at all times of what they're doing, what they're getting into. Like I had one client had to have a surgery recently to get a cat toy out of their dog's intestines.
Ooh.
Not that that wouldn't happen to me potentially because Noli
Well,
is like eats
yeah.
everything, but I just am so like I already know. I look in a room, I'm like, Noli's gonna possibly eat this. Let me just pick it up. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my life. So
Yeah, that's fair. I've been, yeah, because when you adopt from the shelter here, they give you like a free month of like pet insurance,
oh,
but and so I was like, should I get just pet insurance? And like I have one that's like 30 a month that is pretty good. But I'm like, do I need this? Should I get it? I don't know. I'm like a mom for like a newborn child. I'm like, what
I
do you
know.
need? Like
There's still deductibles on them and stuff like that. I
yeah.
just think like when I think of it collectively, if I were to be paying for insurance for two dogs for the last 4 years and like Scouts had one surgery, but it was very minimal, like a non-invasive surgery for the most part. And it really wasn't that expensive. And compared to like what surgeries can be,
Mhm.
she ended up I was able to do it in one surgery, but she needed two things operated on at the same time, but she did them close enough together that I could do it in one surgery. Um, Stuff like that. I mean, that was like my main thing that's with Scout. And yeah, I mean, Noli, Noli's been good.
Noli could
Oh, she's
be
gonna
site
outlive us
zero,
all.
site zero for like a nuclear bomb, and she'd be like, yeah.
Seriously. I swear, the only thing she does is sometimes she eats stupid stuff and gets diarrhea, and that's her claim to fame. But other than that, it's like she's rock solid.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I know it's hard to like know what's best for your dogs, but I
Mhm.
personally, I'm just not about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That I need to get him tested for like parasites is my thing. Like I'm like so afraid of like intestinal parasites. Probably just because I'm very hyper aware of intestines, and I've had dogs in the past who have come from uh, group situations where they have like giardia and they like never told us that they had that, and so I'm
Yes.
like, I need to get him tested.
Yeah, Giardia. I mean, they can be asymptomatic and have Giardia.
Hmm.
Um, but typically you would probably know, and then that stuff isn't treated as easily. But
I
like
had I had giardia when I was a kid.
I did too.
Oh, ew! It was either giardia or E. coli. My mom doesn't know. I
Oh,
say both. I
I
had both
was
at the same time.
I apparently like so we got it when we were camping and my dad was
Uh,
tested and then it was just assumed that we had the same, which I'm sure we did.
uh,
But yeah,
no.
so we have had it and then I worked at the rescue with dogs from Mexico, so I would say
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much 80% had Giardia because they don't have clean water. Um, but it is a little more difficult to treat. But typically, if I get a dog in that's in his situation, I mean, you should look at your papers from that shelter because they may have already provided some of that stuff. But I
Yeah.
typically, right off the bat, will give them a dewormer. I don't even, I don't even pay for their stool to be tested. But Giardia is another thing to look at, I suppose.
Yeah. That's like my only thing of like my concern with him is like you got butt bugs, dude. What's going on here? So I might do that, but I'll see if the like insurance I have that's expensive but free this month will cover that.
Yeah.
But getting a
Also, Or go ahead.
Oh, I was segueing.
Oh, okay. Well, I have one more thing to add.
Okay, go for it.
There are vets that have like package deals, like you pay an annual fee, and basically it covers any vet visits that they need, and then some percentage off like medication, some percentage off like a procedure, like stuff like that. So there are vets that do that. We have one vet here that I know of that does that, where you just pay a flat rate fee, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry if okay, I'm not sure if my dog's sick or not. Just take him in, which is nice when you're owning dogs.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know. I just got here. There's like a million. I'm in the college town with the vet school, so there's like a million vets
Yeah,
every
yeah,
direction. You could throw a rock right now and you'd hit two vets.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, but I did like the ones I went to. The doctor was pretty cool. But yeah, getting a dog definitely has triggered my abandonment issues.
Yo, dogs are like our little spirit guides. They can show us every which way that we need we need some
Yeah,
work done.
yeah. So obviously he's like a black dog, and black dogs can kind of look similar, but like there's like these missing dog posters, and it's like a black dog that like doesn't look like him, but also if you look at it long enough, it starts to kind of look like him. So I'm like, are you gonna leave me? Like, is someone gonna come and take you away from me? Cause like,
Aw.
like, do you love me? Like, what? So like that's my struggle right now of like, are you happy here? Like, are you good? Like, are we? Please, don't leave me, please.
Aw. Well, legally, just so you know, they can't take it back if it had a
Yeah.
stray hold, which they did probably for 4 to 7 days. They had
Hmm.
a chance to find their dog. They didn't. It's now legally the state's, and then now it's legally yours. So, or
Yeah.
the county. So, just so you know, legally they can't take your dog, but
Yeah. And
that's not
he
the
was
root of it.
found like a county over, so like he was definitely not from like this area, which comforts me. But I'm still like, what if someone shows up one day and is like, "That's my dog," and like he likes them better than me?
Aw.
That's my fear at the moment.
Well, that's not going to happen. But like I said, that's not the issue. Obviously you feel that way for reasons.
Uh
So
huh.
hopefully he brings healing to that because they can do that also. Um, but he's gonna love you. Like I said, you just have to. Dogs are cool because you really do get back what you put in.
Yeah.
Which I think is why we love animals so much, where you don't have that guarantee with a human. There's ulterior motives, there's things that like throw you off that you just don't even think that another human would be like, and they end up being like that because there's so much complexity to humanness, where dogs are pretty simple. As much as they're complex, they're extremely simple. So
Yeah.
it's like you give them what they need, and what they truly need, not what we want them to need, which a lot of people want to cuddle their dogs on the couch every day and then think that they're going to have this deep bond. And what happens is just more of a codependent uh, attachment, which attachments and bonds are not the same thing. Um, and so, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's my spiel.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like, yeah, now I like know he loves me, and I'm a very independent person, so like I don't always want like a dog on top of me, which, like I said, I don't. He's probably sleeping out in the hall right now, which is good. Like I texted you and I was like, I don't want the separation anxiety. I don't want that problem. So
No,
far we're avoiding that.
good.
Um,
Definitely not an issue that anyone wants.
yeah. Some people makes them feel good.
Yes.
They're like, "Oh, my dog loves me," and like blah blah, blah, attachment issues.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, he's not allowed on my bed.
Good.
He has come up to see what I'm doing up here. twice, but he doesn't sleep up here because his hair gets everywhere, and that bothers me.
Oh yes, I can't. I have to have like clean some clean surfaces available to me, like my
Yeah.
couch and my bed. But it's funny with that, like people will say like, "Oh, you adopted a dog. How cruel that you won't even let it on the bed."
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, it's not a baby. Like it's a dog. And I'm not saying it's a dog like it doesn't have value, but let's treat them how they actually are because that's going
Hmm.
to honor them the most. Rather than trying to make them what we want them to be, which is like these little cuddle bugs. And like
Yeah.
not all of them want that, and not all, it's not good for all of them. Some maybe,
Yeah.
but like not him. He doesn't need
Yeah.
that. And
And
you're,
shepherds in particular also aren't super, like, they can have their moments of like, yay, cuddle and like pet me. They love getting pet, but like they aren't like, let me sleep on the bed with you. Let me be right
yeah,
here. They're more because they're working dogs, so they want to patrol the area. They want to have like that range of like, I want to check over here. I want to check over here. Okay, like everything's good. I can go back and lay down for another few hours, and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna check over here again and check over here again.
yes. And what tends to happen is if you start allowing them on the bed, and like say you do it from puppy and they get used to the idea of being on a bed, they tend to start guarding the bed, like because that's then now their job that they
Yeah.
ascribe to. Like they're not going to just like be chill on a bed like we want them to be. And so
Hmm.
it's a big reason why I do not recommend people having shepherds or power breeds on the bed just like free reign, you know.
Yeah.
And
He
there's
yeah,
just
he can come up if he's invited.
yes.
Um which yeah, but then like it's only for a few minutes and then I'm like you need to get down cuz
Yeah.
there's hair on my bed now and like my control problems and like my compulsive cleaning is going to like make me lose it. My bed is like very important to me, so like having like clean sheets and like clean blankets or like I don't know. If it's not clean how I like it, I just can't function. It doesn't have to be made. Nothing can be like it has to be like in a certain place, but it just has to be clean. It. And the second I feel like it's dirty, game over.
Well, that's important to have your spot
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. My compulsive cleaning, luckily, since I've been here for a month now, it's like gone down progressively. I left socks in my living room the other day for a full day.
Nice.
So,
I'm here for it.
some could say I'm cured. No, but I am getting better. Like before, like, and I'm not someone who like shuts drawers. Like that's my bad habit is I leave shit open all the time. But like for a while, I was like everything has to be closed, everything has to be perfect. Now I'm like looking at my dresser. I got two drawers open over there, and like shit on the top of it. Like so, I'm doing better than I was, which
Good.
is good.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. I don't know if you have like these. I don't know what your how your problems manifest, but mine manifest in like compulsive cleaning.
You know what's funny? Um, I have like this thing where I get very stressed out with mess,
Mm-hmm.
but because that was my mom's thing when she like I mean she had four kids, so there's gonna be mess, but like she was
Mm-hmm.
so OCD about mess
Yeah.
that it was like the overriding thing, and like I would get in trouble constantly for like leaving a cup on the counter or
Oh yeah.
that kind of stuff. So as an adult, I have found that whenever I get into like not great um mentally, I start getting messy and I hate it. But it's almost like this thing I'm working working with my therapist on it, but like almost like a self-sabotage thing.
Yeah.
But I used to do it, I think, as a child to like get attention because
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like a compulsive messiness in a certain way.
Yeah. That
At
makes sense.
times where I'm like, I'm not even gonna pick up that thing. But then other times when I'm in like a normal state of mind, I like can't leave it on the ground. Like I will look at something and I'm like, I'll be on my couch or whatever. I'm like, you gotta pick it up. You gotta pick it up. And I'm like, no, I'm chilling. No, you gotta pick it up. Gotta pick it up. And I'm like, okay, I gotta pick it up. Like, so it goes back and forth, but it's definitely like based within like semi like trauma response. It's not like this. There's definitely a lot of energy behind these two issues, like crazy clean, messy, messy. Like it's not
Yeah.
just like this, like, oh, go with the flow. So that's what I'm trying to work through so that I have that freedom to be whatever I need at that moment instead of it being off based off something else.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's how I used to be when I was a kid with socks. My dad really wanted me to wear socks because I would always be like, I'm cold. So he'd be like, put socks on. I never put socks on, and he'd get mad at me because I wasn't wearing socks. And then my mom one day, like, was laying in bed and I was laying next to her, and she goes, do you not wear socks to get your dad's attention? I was just like, yeah. And it was just like, we never talked about it ever again after that.
Well, it's like this. I mean, if you don't work through something in your childhood, it stays with you. And it's like
Yeah.
almost feels childish because it is, but it's something that you don't do like with like consciously almost. It's like this subconscious thing that you're doing to meet a need. Um, but yeah, I know it's weird, but that's how to set your kids up for not success. Not doing the best thing for
Yeah.
them is like, let's put a bunch of energy and focus on this one piece of life that isn't even that important.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, yeah, that's what I thought. You know he loves you. And then I was just like, I don't even know if I like said anything or like I thought in my head, I was like, no, I don't know that. I don't know if I
Well,
said that or what, but then we just never spoke about it ever again.
it's funny with that piece of like, well, you know, he loves you, or you know, they care about you,
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like, I think that makes you feel better to feel that way. Like, your mom
Yeah.
would feel better knowing that your dad loves you, but then it's like, unfortunately sometimes exploits the meaning of love and twists it around. So then it's you're doing a huge disservice to someone to like say like this is love, right? Because
Yeah.
it feels better for me to feel this way. But anyways, a little side note on that one.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I feel that. That's today. I work for someone in the mental health field, and I on our quote unquote break. I don't know that we really ever get breaks. I was standing in her office talking to her, and we like talked a little bit about like parenting and stuff, because we're pretty similar, her and I. And I like mentioned my family, and like she was like, "Oh yeah, like what's your relationship like with your dad?" And I was just like, we don't need to get into that. Like, we don't. I don't need to. I don't know that we need to unpack all of that right now. She's just like, yeah, I get that. And I was just like, let me just say, like, a quick summary. I have daddy issues. And she's just like, makes sense. And then we like moved on. I was like, girl, we don't need to. You don't need to hear my sob story right now.
Remember when daddy issues used to be like an offensive thing to tell a girl? Like, you have daddy issues. She has daddy issues.
I think that may have been a little bit before my time of like really understanding like what that meant or like
Oh,
that being used as an insult was probably before I was exposed to the real world
yeah.
out of my basement.
No, I mean, we used to be like, oh, that girl has daddy issues because she's trying to get attention from all these guys or whatever, which
Me.
is funny to insult a girl that way because that should be an insult to her father.
That yeah, that first of all, yes, let's make fun of someone for their trauma and how they're coping with
I
that.
know. And
Second of all,
that's the stuff that I learned growing
not some
up
not
is
something
like,
she can control.
yeah, but you blame people for like how they act instead of trying to understand why, like, understand behavior is a new thing in my life and in society, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never. heard that being like, oh, she's got daddy issues. I've always been like, I have daddy issues. I'm the one you're speaking of, but I'm not seeking male valid. I mean, I do. Let's be honest. Uh, I'm not the typical seek male validation. I have a partner and then I strive for their validation.
You're not the pick me girl.
I'm not the pick me girl. I'm not not texting like 20 guys. Which hey, if that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm built different. Have a little bit of trauma, so I pick one guy and I'm like, please say you're proud of me, and if you do, I will be just so happy. That'll give me my yearly ounce of serotonin and just dopamine rush. But I have videos on my phone of like my best guy friend being like, "Wow, I'm proud of you. You did a good job." Just because I was like, a man has to tell me that sometimes. So I have videos on my phone saved.
Gotta get that masculine energy.
I have to get it. I need it. I can't provide enough of it to myself. I need an exterior source. The internal source is tapped. But yeah, well, there we have it, folks. Just an easy episode. Nothing too heavy, which is good considering our last episode.
We like the heavy stuff on the average, but some days we are a little trying to take it easy.
Trying to relax, not trying to dive too deep into anything. But I am working on getting us a guest, a very smart individual. Like I said, we've all just kind of been busy. My mental state hasn't been the best, so I'm working on it. Lining up schedules is also hard when we have two students, three working individuals. Like, it's hard to get things to match up sometimes, so we're working on it. But
we'll get there.
We'll get there. We're doing it. We're doing a great job, and I'm proud of us.
Oh, good. We're good. I'm glad you are.
Do you have anything to say to me?
I'm proud of you, Ryan.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, doesn't hit as hard, but it still hits.
Oh, come on.
It's more like...
You want me to say it in like a deeper voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Perfect.
Does that work?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's the energy. It needs the energy.
Yeah, I don't got it.
That's alright. It's you gave me a little bit of energy, and that's.
Did I give you like a little serotonin?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not like the good hard hitting, just did a line of coke, dopamine rush kind of feeling.
That's hard to compete with. So
yeah,
I'm gonna be okay with what I just offered.
Yeah, you gave me a small hit, and that's good.
Okay.
But anyways, you can follow me, Ryan, on Instagram at ryan.m.s, or you can follow our Twitter, which I am doing my best to keep up to date, which is WTFU.podcast on Twitter. Like and subscribe here on YouTube. Leave a comment, like I said earlier, if you know what anime my dog's name is from. We can talk about it in the comments because I'm always down to talk about that stuff. Emily, anything?
I don't have anything to add. I don't know anything about anime, so I will not be commenting, but...
Well, get educated.
Yeah. It's like the last thing I want to educate myself on.
Both of my animals, so I have a fish as well, which I bought the fish, and then it was a slippery slope from there to getting a dog. And his name is Toya, which is also anime.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anyone, Toya and Kaneki, they're different animes, so can't double dip. You gotta know both of them. Feel free to comment. But yeah. Have we'll see y'all next time.
All right. Bye.